So my name is Andrew Tinker. I'm the music director here, and today we'll be talking about Advent as one of our holiday traditions. And so I thought it would be appropriate to share this little Advent song that I wrote about John the Baptist. Well, John went down in the water. Out of the wilderness he came, with not but the clothes of Elijah and a leather belt around his waist. Well, he walked right down in the Jordan, and that mighty river knew that he'd come home. Well, John was filled with the Spirit, and so he opened up his mouth and he spoke. You better get ready, every woman, child, and man better get ready, for the kingdom is at hand. You better get ready. Throw open every door and prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Well, John was working in the Spirit. John was working in the grace. So never did he worry where he would get his honey, for John was preparing the way. You better get ready, every woman, child, and man better get ready, for the kingdom is at hand. You better get ready, or throw open every door and prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Yeah, if you're feeling downhearted, when you're dragging your feet, rejoice, rejoice, for the kingdom is at hand, and the kingdom is at hand for you and me. Come on now, we better get ready. Woo! Every woman, child, and man better get ready, for the kingdom is at hand. You better get ready. Throw open every door and prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ready. Every woman, child, and man better get ready, for the kingdom is at hand. You better get ready. Throw open every door and prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Come on now. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. Yeah. That's Jonathan and
Wow.
Matt.
Andrew Tinker. An original song, no less. Wow, are you ready? Oh my gosh, what are we getting ready for? I guess I better tell you. All right, that was awesome, that was hot. So, today we're talking about a couple of things. One is, what's your holiday recipe? Okay, what is that? What key ingredients, maybe perhaps a special ingredient or two, are you bringing and ensuring that you are preparing to bring forward for you during this holiday season? And as Dr. Petra already said, we are celebrating the season of Advent. This starts the season of Advent in the Christian community. It's basically, we are looking, in the Christian community, it is expecting the light to come into the world. Sometimes it's looking backwards at the birth of Jesus and also looking forward to the second coming of Jesus. For us in Science of Mind, it really is about, are we preparing ourselves to awaken the Christ consciousness that is already within us? And how to do that? And there's also this... I'm aware of there's this momentum. If you haven't started to feel it yet, there's this, and it wasn't the song, but this momentum that starts to sort of build. right? The day after Thanksgiving, and it starts to build, and it's like, oh my gosh, and I hear, if I could just get through the holidays, then I'll rest, right? So how do we prepare? And it's like, well, I was thinking about this in this whole concept of holiday recipe, and how does one prepare to awaken the Christ consciousness within? Much like baking, you can't just put the cookie dough in the oven and go, here it is. You have to turn on the oven. You have to preheat it. So you have to prepare. You have to preheat the oven, and that takes a little bit. It takes a little while for the warming of that oven to come about, so then you're ready to place the ingredients that we've sort of mixed together into the dough. So hang with me on this metaphor, because I'm going to do a weaving of recipes and ingredients while I'm weaving the Advent. So let's see if I can pull that off this morning, because I didn't want to leave either by the wayside. And one of the reasons why I really brought this idea of what's in your holiday recipe is I was struck last Sunday in our own kitchen. Some of you may not know, we heard the announcements that Dr. Petra and the children were going to bake cookies. And I was working on a project, so I would come down every now and then, and so I got to participate in experience, but primarily I got to witness what was happening in our kitchen and in Pankey Hall. And I got to witness Dr. Petra with these children and the parents and some of our other community members prepare the recipes, these cookie doughs. And I watched her how she brought in the care of, first of all, we had to have everything in place. We had to have the cookie sheets. Some of you might remember last Sunday she did a shout out for, I can't find my cookie cutters, anybody got one? And all of a sudden they appeared. We didn't have to buy any. Someone brought some in. We had to get all the ingredients together for the children. And as we got into the kitchen together, there were a couple ingredients missing. And what I witnessed was there was not any Grinch in the kitchen. There was not a Grinch. There was no grumbling. It was not like, well, I'm not going to go get those ingredients. Why do I have to go out in the cold? There was someone that just said, oh, go. One of the mothers went out and got some eggs and butter, I believe, were the two ingredients that were missing. And so no one was made wrong, and it was beautiful, and there was love all around. And the other thing that I want to share is everyone got to participate. I realized that some of these children had never measured out, like vanilla, a quarter teaspoon. And I watched Dr. Petra with the children. You can tell she's a mother, and how patient. She brought the ingredient of patience, and no, you put a little bit here and a pinch of that. And, they all sat around the table on their stools, no matter how little and how big. We had an 18-year-old in there, and they all made their own dough. And then they got to roll it out and they got to cook. So no one was left behind. You getting this? Just in our own kitchen, what a season of love and preparation. And then the perhaps the last thing that really struck me in all of this is not one child ate a cookie. What's up with that, Petra? They took hours of care and cooling, and here they all, and they're really nice, and not one child ate a cookie, because they weren't doing this for themselves. They were doing it for all of us. And today they're putting icing and decorating so that over our special holiday services, we get to enjoy the holiday recipe that they molded with their own hands, formed with love and with joy. And so that brought me hope. And that is what the Advent candle is all about. That these children had so much joy with Dr. Petra and their mothers and some of our community members, and it wasn't for the sake of their own self. And so just to see, I could imagine the love and the joy and the laughter and everything being molded into that dough. And so it's time to light the Advent candle, again, 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. And the first candle that we light, and I light these in honor of our children. So I want you to bring these qualities and these children and, the whole bit that I just shared into your hearts. And I light these candles in honor of our children in this community, which includes each and every one of us, because we're all children at heart. I won't even ask the yes, because I know you'll affirm that. And also for every child on this planet, that no one is left from the table. That every child on this planet gets to bring their gift, their joy, their laughter, their love into this season of Advent. So we light the first candle. The striker and me are friends. We light the first candle of hope. And so, knowing that there is hope in the lives of our children for the sake of all humanity. We light the second candle of preparation. So we prepare ourselves, our own consciousness, to awaken that which is within, the Christ consciousness. We light the third candle, which is the candle of joy. Nice that it's pink, lots of joy. And we light the fourth candle, the candle of love. And so they will be illumined throughout the service. So as we begin to think about together, what are some of the ingredients that we can truly bring into our own individualized holiday recipes and prepare for this holiday season that we're already in the midst of. And we think about ingredients that we can bring in collectively. There was one that I have become really aware of recently in the past few months. Of course, it's been going on longer than that. But it seems to have been building in our community. And that ingredient is creativity. We are a creative bunch. And Joe sort of gave you just a smidgen of this. But I wanted to highlight some of the creativity in our community. Tracy Brown, our own practitioner, has written an exquisite book on prayers. I Turn to Prayer. And so you're invited to purchase the book and have her sign it. If you already purchased one, have her sign it out in the breezeway. And that's amazing. We have an author in our midst, our own practitioner, Tracy Brown. We also have a new creative expression. If you haven't noticed, I'm blinging. I've got 2 on right now. One wasn't enough for me. Bill and Cindy Holman have been working behind the scenes on this incredible project. These are called prayer companions. They are charms that have each of the steps of the 5 steps in spiritual mind treatment. I love playing with them. And they're all different. I have sort of the unisex. This is a women's. It has this beautiful magnet that keeps it on. That's like incredible. How creative is that? And so they are starting to sell those today. And so you can pick up some of those. Nice sterling silver, heavyweight, men and women designs. I don't want to miss anyone. We have a lot of creativity. We have Rachel Benedict, who has her line of Vibes Up jewelry, where she has infused and energized the jewelry and other items with essential oils and crystals. We have Jeremy and Jen Wanamaker. You can wear their creativity in the form of tie-dye. Lauren Woltz has beautiful little necklaces, and they are TSRW necklaces. And I forgot to say that about Bill and Cindy. They have a TSRW right here on the charm, and we've been saying this shit really works. Oh, I said that from the platform. Richard, edit that out. Okay. It does. This shit really works. That's what you said. And we have our own Andrew Tinker and Lainey Bernstein selling CDs in the bookstore. So I mentioned this. Look at the creativity. I bet you have some projects that you want to birth, perhaps this holiday season or soon after. And so I invite you to really go into our bookstore, because you will give a gift this year that keeps on giving. You're going to give to CSLDallas by purchasing anything in that bookstore. You're going to give to all these individual creative artists that have brought their passions forward. And some of these creative artists are then, on top of that, even going to gift and tithe back to us. So that's an amazing thing. It's the gifts that keep on giving. Insight Bookstore. Okay. So what I would like for us to do now is actually go within. I'd like for you to go within inside yourself and be with, there's a special ingredient. You know, it's like the secret sauce. There's one thing that if you were to leave it out, it would change everything about that recipe. You'd feel like there's something missing. You can't enjoy and savor the sacredness or the flavor of that recipe. And so there is something within you that is wanting to be brought forth this holiday season for the sake of yourself and others in your life. And so be with that for a minute and see what that ingredient is. What is that thing as you prepare for this season that you want to make sure you add? And when you've got it, open your eyes so I'll know that you're with me. Great. So, I'm very interested in what ingredient you really want to bring this holiday season. So I invite you to say your name and say what that is, and just briefly, very briefly, why or what brought that up for you for this holiday season. Raise your hand. Yes.
Patient understanding.
Patience and understanding. Great. You can say your name if you like. We get to know each other. Yes.
I'm Linda, and gratitude.
Want to bring gratitude. Any particular reason?
I have a lot to be grateful for. I've experienced a lot of human kindness.
Great. She's experienced a lot of human kindness, a lot to be grateful for. I saw hands in the back. Yes, very back.
I'm Reagan Holtz, and I want to bring love and joy. We're traveling to New Zealand to celebrate my son's wedding, and there are so many details that I get caught up in the, oh my gosh, to do this. But it's all about the great love and grace.
Thank you. So bringing love and joy, because there's so many details for this wedding that you want to bring love and joy and celebrate that during the wedding. Beautiful. Yes.
Debbie, hi. I want to bring openness and presence. For me, it's about I get distracted very easily, so I want to be totally present to the experience I'm having day to day, and the openness to let it come in.
Open and present so the busyness of the holiday season doesn't get to you. Allow the open and presence to be with you. Thank you. Yes. You.
I'm JL, and I want to bring compassion and love to this season. I want to, my son's going to be away for the holidays, so I want to spend it with maybe somebody who needs it because of him.
Wow. Compassion and love. She said her son's going to be away for the holidays, and so she wants to spend the holiday with someone that could really use that love and compassion from JL. Beautiful. One over here? No? You're okay.
I'm Chris, and I also want to bring presence and also laughter to my community gathering, my family gatherings, because I don't get to see these people all the time. So it's just good to be fully present and engaging with the people that really kind of raised you as you were growing up. So.
Presence and laughter Chris wants to bring, especially with this family. Yes, in the back.
I'm Adrian Marks, and I want to bring acceptance. It's going to unfold exactly as it's supposed to unfold. I am powerless. If I interject me, it's going to be a real crappy holiday.
Okay, she wants to bring acceptance and know that it perfectly outpictures and unfolds. And if you just, what did you say? You bring you, it's going to be a crappy holiday? Oh, control how people act. Yes. Let go of control. So acceptance. Allow each person to be exactly as they are. Very good. I saw another hand. A couple more.
Good morning. My name is Michael, and mine would be communication, whether it's verbal or written. I think by communicating, we change people's thoughts and change the way you look at things, and things can change.
Great. Michael wants to bring the ingredient communication. He believes that in written and verbal communications, you can actually expand and change the way people might perceive things and look at things. Beautiful. Okay. One here. You want to get an electronic surprise for Anna? Okay. That's good. Technology came into our ingredients. There was a hand here. Yes? No? Okay. I got you. Beautiful. She wants to bring the ingredient strength and perseverance for herself and for her parents, and especially for anyone that is perhaps being challenged or going through any kind of addiction. Wow, feel that. Strength and perseverance. Beautiful ingredients. Okay, one more. Yes.
I'm Joe, and I want to celebrate diversity, all of the beautiful gifts that all the different kinds of people bring, and to have that in the holiday and celebrate it and hold it up and let it shine.
The ingredient of diversity, to actually celebrate our differences. Sometimes perhaps we focus on how we're the same, but to really, how many people have one spice in their rack? Right? It takes a lot of spices to cook. Great. Celebrate diversity. So one of the things that I didn't hear, and I almost took it off the slide, but it still didn't come up, and that's okay, is expectancy. The ingredient of expectancy, it's one of the things in addition to preparation for the season of Advent, it's expectancy. And as I was being with this and going, okay, what can I say about expectancy? I, went on Mr. Google or Miss Google, the Google thing. And I went and found, what can I find on expectancy? It was depressing. It actually was depressing. Here's a couple of quotes I found, starting off with William Shakespeare. Expectation is the root of all heartache. Expecting too much is a way of hurting yourself. Too much expectation leads to sadness. I'm like, wait a second. Expectation and expectancy is one of the key ingredients to ensure that we have a sacred, a priceless, an exceptional holiday experience. And in preparation for awakening the Christ consciousness, are we expecting the awakening of the Christ consciousness? And I was like, what is up with this? And I feel that our media has robbed us of our natural tendency of expectation. Cheerful expectation. It's like maybe it is in the, well, I shouldn't expect to get this gift because I unwrap it and I wanted the iPad mini. Don't get me one of those. I just got one. But, but I wanted the iPad mini and I didn't get it. I'm just not going to expect. Or, why expect that I'm going to have a lot of joy, laughter, love, connection, companionship this holiday experience? I don't want to be disappointed. It's like, wow. Where has our expectations, because we've been told, well, don't expect too much. Anybody hear that before? Yes, right? Well, don't expect someone to love you, or, all this stuff. And I think we've been robbed of our natural tendency, and yet Ernest Holmes, in his definition of joy says, joy, he defines joy as the emotion excited by the expectancy of good. The expectancy of good. Live, he says, live in a continual state of expectancy. What would that be like if we added expectancy to our holiday recipe? And one of the interesting things that he notes is, well, okay, I'm already got the good today, so I better not expect even more good tomorrow. He's like, no, if you got good right now, you can expect more good tomorrow. It's that continual state of expectancy. So that it really struck me. And he has this beautiful quote: what great joy should accompany everything that we do? An expectancy, love. Love everything, praise everything, recognize all things, believe all things, accept all things. There is a laughter of God, let's laugh it. There is a song of the universe, let's sing it. There is a hymn of praise, let's praise it. There is a joy, a beauty, there is a deep abiding peace, let's experience it. How might we experience it if we don't expect it? I just want you to be with that. So as we think of these ingredients, if we put them all together, what people shared and what came up in your own heart, we have to prepare for this holiday season because it could just get away from us very quickly in the hustle and bustle of things. How are we preparing? And what are we expecting even of this holiday season? And the other tidbit that I wanted to add in this weaving of the recipe in Advent is this whole notion of Advent of preparing to awaken the Christ consciousness within. Well, it's sort of a paradox because the truth is, Ernest Holmes will tell us, and I quote, "Do you realize that this Christ is already here? This Christ is the incarnation of God in every individual. Surely God has imparted himself to every soul. If this were not true, you would not be alive. You would have no existence. You could not be here. Your Christ is the unique incarnation of God, of life in you as the individual. This divine incarnation, this living presence, is at the center of your being now, not by and by." He says, if you open the door of your consciousness and welcome the divine guest, it will enter. And so, the Christ consciousness is here. It's not by and by. And it is up to us to set the table, to prepare, to ensure that we're putting in the ingredients so that we can awaken this Christ consciousness in this season of love. And with that, we have love right in the center of everything that we do this holiday season. And that's what I hold for each of us. Connection, openness, diversity, compassion, kindness, all of the ingredients that were mentioned. In this season of love, shall we mix that together, put it in the oven, and savor the cookies of life? And so I ask us to go within. I'm going to end with a meditation for our prayer from Meditations of the Heart by Howard Thurman. It's appropriate for today. So take this in. The season of affirmation. Christmas is the season of affirmation. I affirm my faith in the little graces of life, the urgency of growth, the strength of laughter, the vitality of friendship. I affirm my confidence in the dignity of man, his fortitude in despair, his strength in weakness, his love in hatred. I affirm my joy in the experience of living, the fragrance of nostalgia, the scattered moments of delight, the exhilaration of danger. I affirm my needs of my fellows, the offerings of faith, the gifts of variety, the quality of difference. I affirm my hunger for God, the desire for fulfillment, the ache for understanding, the sense of peace. Christmas is my season of affirmation, and so it is.